From country roots to global icon, there are stories of success, and then there are legends that echo through generations. Taylor Swift's journey is more than music. It's a blueprint of perseverance, transformation, and fierce independence. From a teenage girl writing songs in her bedroom in Pennsylvania to a global phenomenon selling out stadiums, Taylor Swift didn't just rise. She reinvented herself every step of the way. And in doing so, she created a formula that speaks to anyone striving to be more than the world expects. The courage to begin. Young, born in 1989. In Reading, Pennsylvania, Taylor's love for music began early. By the age of 10, she was performing in local contests and fairs. At 14, she convinced her family to move to Nashville, the capital of country music, just so she could chase a dream that seemed too big for a teenager. But that's where the story takes a turn. Most young talents wait to be discovered. Taylor wrote her own songs, knocked on doors, and took charge of her destiny. This wasn't just talent, it was vision. It was the refusal to wait for someone else's validation. Taylor's early rise in the country music scene wasn't an accident. It was the result of showing up again and again, even when people said she was too young, too ambitious, or too different. Writing her own story. Literally. One of the most powerful weapons in Taylor's success formula is authenticity. From the beginning, she wrote her own lyrics, often drawn from her personal life. While critics mocked her for being too emotional or too honest, fans saw a mirror of their own lives. She turned heartbreak, rejection, and betrayal into anthems that gave millions a voice. Songs like Teardrops on My Guitar and Love Story weren't just hits. They were pages from a diary shared with the world. She proved that being vulnerable is not a weakness. In fact, it's the ultimate power. She taught us that pain, when expressed through passion, becomes art. And art, when created with truth, becomes immortal. Reinvention, her greatest superpower. If there is one word that defines Taylor Swift, it's reinvention. Every few years, she evolves. Not just her music, but her style, her sound, her message. From country to pop, from synth pop to indie folk, from glittery dresses to folklore cardigans, Taylor never stood still. She didn't wait for trends, she created them. In 2014, with the release of 1989, Taylor shocked the world by leaving country behind and diving fully into pop. It wasn't just a genre shift, it was a bold statement. You can start over. You can choose a new path. She showed us that we are not bound by what we once were. We don't have to live in the shadows of our past successes or failures. Reinvention is about letting go of what no longer serves us and stepping into a version of ourselves that matches our current truth. Battling public backlash and media storms. No success story is complete without its trials. Taylor has faced her share: public feuds, media scrutiny, cancel culture, and online harassment. From the Kanye West and Kim Kardashian saga to being mocked for dating too much, she was painted as everything from a victim to a villain. But here's where Taylor's spirit truly shines. She never let public opinion define her worth. When the world turned against her, she disappeared. Not to hide, but to heal, rebuild, and re-emerge stronger. In her own words, "The only thing I knew how to do was keep writing music and keep making art." And that's exactly what she did. She reclaimed her voice, her power, and eventually, her entire career. Reclaiming her work. A masterclass in ownership. Perhaps one of the most inspiring chapters in Taylor's story is her decision to re-record her early albums. After losing ownership of her masters to a corporate deal, she didn't beg or plead. She took action. She re-recorded every album one by one and called them Taylor's version. This was more than a legal move. It was a declaration to every artist, every entrepreneur, and every dreamer. You have the right to own your story. No matter how powerful the opposition, you can take back what's yours, with patience, grit, and vision. This part of her journey wasn't glamorous. It was long, strategic, and filled with resistance, but it also became one of the most empowering moments in modern music history. She taught an entire generation that it's never too late to reclaim what was taken from you. The power of staying true to yourself. Through all the transformations, one thing remained constant. Taylor Swift never stopped being herself. Whether in love, in heartbreak, or in controversy, she stood by her words. She didn't chase perfection. She embraced growth. She allowed the world to see her fall, cry, laugh, rise, and win again. She didn't fake toughness. She allowed herself to be soft and strong at the same time. In a world that constantly tells women to shrink, to be less, to apologize for their ambition, Taylor Swift expanded. She took up space, unapologetically. And in doing so, she gave others permission to do the same. More than music, a cultural movement. Today, Taylor Swift is more than an artist. She's a movement. With over 200 million records sold, multiple Grammys, and record-breaking tours like the Eras Tour, she is one of the most successful musicians of all time. But beyond the charts and numbers lies her deeper impact. She inspired millions to believe in themselves. She broke the mold of what it means to be a pop star. She challenged the industry. She elevated songwriting. She made storytelling cool again. She mentored young artists. She stood up for LGBTQ+ rights, voting awareness, and women's empowerment. Taylor Swift didn't just climb the ladder. She built a new one. Lessons from her formula. If we're to learn from Taylor's success, we must embrace three truths. Reinvent, reclaim, rise. Reinvent. Don't be afraid to change. Reinvention isn't about losing yourself. It's about discovering new parts of who you are. Evolve with purpose. Grow with grace. Reclaim. Whether it's your voice, your time, your dreams, or your power, take it back. Don't wait for permission. Don't hand over control. You own your narrative. Rise. No matter how many times you fall, rise. Not in spite of your pain, but because of it. Let your scars sing. Let your story inspire. The world needs it. You don't have to be Taylor to win. Like Taylor Swift's journey is hers, but her formula is for all of us. You don't need a stage, a spotlight, or a million fans. You just need belief. Self-belief. That's the true strength she carried all along. That's what turned a girl from Pennsylvania into one of the most powerful voices on the planet. You too can rewrite your story. You can turn rejection into redirection. You can turn pain into power. All you have to do is trust your voice, fight for your truth, and rise. Again and again. Because just like Taylor, your next chapter could be your greatest one yet.